Want to find out how much my husband lost 1 month on keto? Stay tuned to find out.
I'm Emily.
I'm Sarah.
We are 35-year-old sisters on a ketogenic weight loss journey. We've struggled with our weight all of our lives, but in 2019, we finally committed to better our health and have successfully lost over 150 pounds combined so far. We aren't perfect, but we are real, and we hope to share our success and our struggles to motivate ourselves and others.
Hi there, I'm Sarah from the Keto Twins, and today my husband Alex will be joining us and talking about his 1 month experience on keto. So Alex and I met in 2011 through a mutual friend, and we started dating. He lived in Milwaukee at the time, and I lived in Chicago, so I would go up on the weekends and visit him. And eventually he moved down to Chicago, and then like 100,000 years later he proposed. Got married last August. So how did you love the wedding? I know I loved it because I planned it.
How did you love it? Better be love.
Yeah, pretty much. So you love the wedding, right? No. So tell me about the wedding. How did you like it?
I love the wedding. Sarah planned the whole thing pretty much, and I picked out the pie. But it was a great time, and everyone had a great time, and it was really beautiful. We went to, we got married at the Atrium Milwaukee, and it was, there's this rooftop that's covered in plants, and it was just a spectacular day. I was really wonderful, so it was a good time.
Awesome. So just in case you don't know, I lost around 60 pounds for my wedding in 2019, and yeah, I did it primarily with keto. Alex does follow a mainly keto lifestyle during the week because that's all I cook. And yeah, do you enjoy the food that I make?
Yeah, of course. We've been eating keto together for many years now. I haven't really been following as diligently as Sarah has been, but I definitely we plan our lives around keto dishes and prepare them during the week, and it's typically what we're making at home.
So why don't you tell everybody about your keto journey in January?
So this January, I participated in Dry January, which is getting pretty popular. It's the same thing as like Sober October. You basically just take a month, reset the batteries, abstain from alcohol and like other toxins, and try to eat clean, just to kind of recharge yourself and get back to a healthy lifestyle, I suppose. It's definitely not the first time I've done it. I have participated in it last year with Brad, Emily's husband. We both have been doing it now for a couple years, and I think I'm going to keep doing it. It's really just a good time to reset the batteries, especially after the holidays, when being from Wisconsin, all we do is eat cheese and sausage and drink beer and cookies. And
pretty much.
It's always a good time to just take a month and just start over in regards to just eat alcohol in general. I mean, I usually drink during the weekends, and taking a month off really changes a lot of things. It seems like physiologically, mentally, I don't know. Maybe it's a placebo effect, but for everyone, it's different. But obviously, there's many articles out there that support that. But it's definitely doing it this year was a little different. So,
well, you also brew beer. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So my one of my hobbies is brewing, and behind us actually I have some of my brew equipment. And Brad actually got me into it many years ago, and together we do brew once in a while, and it's fun. Just make something from grain to glass and putting it together. It's like just crafting something together with your own hands and being able to eat. It's like cooking in a way, but a little more science involved, I suppose. But it's really fun. So
can you make a keto beer?
Can you make a keto beer? You can make lower carb beers. There's one by Lagunitas that's using monk fruit as a sweetener. I think it has about 3 grams of carbohydrates.
Can you do that? Can you make me some keto beer?
I don't know what the recipe is, but I could look at it.
That might be popular. I don't know.
Yeah,
People out there might want to learn how to make their own.
There's also a lot of lower carb beers out there. One just came out. A couple from Miller, like Michelob Ultra, is a couple grams per glass and things like that. But obviously, there's other alcoholic beverages too that are low carb, like seltzer, hard seltzer, and stuff, which we can actually do. And
really,
we can make hard
seltzer.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, if I want to do that. So, anyways, It's one of my hobbies and it's a lot of fun. Obviously not good for a keto lifestyle. But some of the beer that I like to drink is has a lot of sugar in it, unfortunately. So I don't necessarily always like drinking those lower carb beers. Um, to my own fault, I suppose. I prefer something like that. It's sweeter. Actually, I brought one here. It was this is one I have from Three Floyds. It's called Dark Lord, and it's a barrel aged imperial stout, and it's super high in sugar. It's really sweet. And
how many carbs are in that?
We don't know because there's no labels. It's just empty. It's just the beer. You just accept your fate.
They don't need to put stuff on there. That's.
I guess not. I have a huge craft beer scene here in Chicago, and a lot of the beers come in cans. They don't have labels on them. You don't know the calories. You don't know the carbs or anything like that. So it's tough to really, drink that type of stuff and even try to stick to a diet because you don't know what you're consuming or how much sugar is in there. So that's the problem with being into craft beer.
Yeah.
I still try to eat keto during the week, and I try to, exercise on the side and keep the sugary drinks to a minimum.
We don't really have a lot of sugary drinks in the house.
We don't, no. I mean, I stopped drinking cream for the most part. In coffee, what else did we stopped? We don't drink soda at all. We typically drink, seltzer water.
In tandem with, doing keto and dry January, he's licking my arm. Keto and dry January, did you work out at all during your month?
Yes, I did plan to stick to a month-long, just, regimen, just keep at it, work out as much as possible, do a ketogenic diet, and see how much weight I could lose. So I did do that. I stuck to the diet very well. I did not exercise every day, which I wasn't expecting to. For the most part, you got to give yourself recovery time after exercising. Make sure,
Alex told me that you need to recover between, because I tried to do like 100 squats and I broke my butt pretty much, or not my butt, whatever muscles are used for squats. I don't work out, obviously, and he does. He's way more active than I am. So, maybe he could teach me how to work out in the future.
I do work out actually down here in the basement. This space right here, I have an exercise mat and weights and stuff, so I use that to exercise, and I follow P90X program, which is something I've done for years and years and years. I just haven't done often and stuck to it. So I definitely, before dry January started, I did start exercising to try and build a habit, because one of the things with me, I have a lot of trouble, especially switching between dry January, going on a diet, trying to exercise every day, all these changes at once can be really hard to stick to. So what I started doing was, I think I started exercising in November, maybe trying to do, 3 days a week or something, and sticking to that. I think solely because I just didn't want to gain as much weight during the holidays as I usually do. But I did end up doing exercises throughout January for the most part, almost every day. And I was doing the P90X3 program and sticking to, and also following along with the Keto Gains channel.
So I've been battling my weight all my life, and when I mean battling it by 60 or so pounds each time. Alex, I don't think has ever been truly overweight in your life. You've always been a size medium to a large, smaller large.
Yeah.
So how about you talk about your starting weight,
Sure.
And then how much you lost?
I originally, in the beginning of January, I was 190. Which is actually the heaviest I've ever been, I think ever. And after the month of being on keto and exercising, I did lose 13 pounds. And I do feel like it wasn't all just weight loss. I feel like I did put on muscle working out, because I feel like my arms got bigger and I could see my muscle and my back was coming back and things like that. I think the last time I was, working out as frequently was probably 10 years ago, and I was in really good shape. But I was also 10 years younger. And after I after I broke the habit of exercising, I never got back into it. It was always something I always struggled with trying to.
I never got the habit, so
it's tough because once it does become a habit, it's much easier to do it.
Yeah.
It's much easier to stick to it. It's much easier to get up and do it, and come down here, I guess, because it's freezing down here. So in the middle of winter, trying to get down here when it's 60 degrees, and it's not really fun to start jumping around and doing whatever.
Well, I was thinking that maybe like in the spring, like we could go for like walks, with Charlie here.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to open the mind up to becoming more athletic, not athletic, but more moving more. I don't know, not athletic, but that's just never have been part of my life. But having someone like him who can teach me how I should utilize that knowledge, maybe.
I feel like when I had a workout buddy, I was able to stick to the program, or any program in general, much easier than not. That has been something mentally that's always been able to get me to exercise more. And I mean, doing it by myself was kind of like more of a goal orientated thing, because I knew I was doing this month and I knew I was sticking to something. So it was kind of like I have to do it. If I don't do it, then I'm going to be upset with myself.
Well, you do have a buddy that was doing with it the same as you, which was Brad. He was kind of doing the same thing, so I don't know if that kept
we
you
may not
motivated.
have been physically in the same room together, but we were.
Oh, not working out. I meant like doing dry January and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But yeah. Okay, so we know that he lost 13 pounds, but what were some of the challenges this month that you experienced being on the keto diet?
Typically coming into the weekend was always the hardest, because that's usually it's strange. It's like coming out of work, being done with the work week, and like having those couple days off. You kind of start unwinding and getting into that mode, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, let's have a cocktail. That's how I feel. There's a bit of a mental
Working for the weekend?
Working for the weekend. There's a mental habit that kind of builds when you do start doing that every weekend. And when it goes away, you kind of just like, well, what now? Which is kind of sad to think about, because
With alcohol or with
With
food?
alcohol. With
Okay.
alcohol. And I mean carbs too, because usually I felt like if I did drink a beer, I would be breaking my diet, or breaking it coming out of keto.
And my husband, one of his most favorite things in the world is pizza. He's a pizza aficionado. So how was not eating pizza during this month?
Not eating pizza was fine. I mean, replace it with just a ton of cheese and you're good.
Well, actually, we made a keto pizza, and I'll link the recipe below. And we like to substitute and keep pizza in our life, even though we're doing keto. So, did you like the pizza that Emily and I made?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like a really thin crust pizza that the toppings held up really well. The crust was really crispy. It didn't, wasn't soggy, didn't fall apart. I mean, that's kind of the key things right there. You don't want something that's going to fall apart on you. And a lot of those crusts, those keto crusts, they kind of do. I mean, the cauliflower one.
Do you like the cauliflower one?
Not really. I mean, for a pizza, it was good, but it was so much fiber and just like, you almost have to burn the thing to really get it to...
Well, we did get, I forget what the name of the cauliflower crusts, and they're really good, but they're like $60 for like 10 crusts or something like that.
They actually sell them in the grocery store now, and I think they're about $12 a crust or something like that.
No, a crust?
Yes.
See? No.
I think I'm sorry, for the packaging, I think you get maybe 2 or 3 in there or something.
Yeah, 3 or 4 or something like that, but still expensive.
Pricey.
So yeah, we'll link that recipe down in the description below. I promise you will not be disappointed. So were you 100% faithful to the keto lifestyle during this month of January?
I was up until the last week of the month. I did break the diet because I was on a work trip and I couldn't find any keto options, so I just decided to
try something different.
Get off of it and
what did you eat?
Something. I ate a Vietnamese. What kind was that noodle?
Oh, udon? No, I don't know. I don't know all the noodles. Vermicelli or something like that? Vermicelli noodle?
I ate a Vietnamese vermicelli noodle bowl, and it was fantastic.
A good way to break your diet.
Oh yeah, it was a great way to break the diet.
Well, it is hard to stay on when you're traveling, because it's like you're not at home, you're not in the normal comfort of your house, and you're staying in a hotel and stuff like that. So I can understand why you broke down during that point. It's okay. I forgive you. Talk a little bit about the products that you used during this month of keto for you.
Yeah, so I used just a regular protein powder when I was exercising, just to build muscle. It's called Isopure.
We actually used this in one of our videos to, is this the unflavored?
Right, this is not the unflavored. This is
the cream. No, we did not use
vanilla.
that one, but we used this version in an onion ring batter. So we'll link that one as well down below.
Very good. I mean, I've had a few protein powders, over the years, and this was great. 0 carbs, there's no sugar, and 25 grams of protein, and it was really good. I just mixed it with water, and then
Why would you take something like this?
Whey will help you gain muscle.
Okay,
It's
so a
just
lot of women might not know this, but men take this when they're like working out and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a protein substitute. It's an easy way to pack on protein, which will help rebuild your muscle and help it grow. And it's because it's not always easy to get 25 grams of protein. I mean, you have to be eating quite a lot of meat. So when you are working out and trying to build that muscle, packing in more protein is always good. And then I also added creatine, just a little bit of creatine. I mean, I was kind of debated about doing creatine because I don't really know if you really need it or not, but I was reading some again, the Keto Gains channel, where they're really focused on being in keto and exercising. And they recommend using creatine as a normal. So I did follow that, and I just added as like a normal addition to your workout diet. Okay. So I did follow along with that because I did used to use it.
I am not a part of Keto Gains.
Not a part of Keto Gains. But there's a lot of interesting nutrition information that they have, as well as workouts and stuff like that, and they recommended using it. The thing about this is you actually can gain some water weight by drinking it.
Why?
I'm not sure why, honestly.
No, thank you then.
But you do lose it. I mean, after you stop taking it.
I'll pass.
Yeah. So these are actually by the Keto Gains
Make sure that you show
company.
It to the camera.
This is called Elemental Labs Recharge. They actually make this stuff. They have a few people with them doing it. They sell it on Amazon. This is the citrus salt.
Tastes
flavor.
like a margarita, actually.
It tastes really good. And there's a lot of, so there's 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. And these are some nutrients that you lack when you're in ketosis. So they're actually helpful to take. Sodium being, adding electrolytes. Everyone in that channel, all they talk about is electrolytes. Mm-hmm. You gotta add your electrolytes, And I didn't really know about that until reading about that recently. And so apparently this stuff is really good if you have like keto flu, if you have like a headache or something. There's actually been times during the month of January when I did have a headache, or I was feeling, lethargic or something. I didn't know how I really felt, but I did, toss this in here and there, and it would help me.
I actually had a headache. I remember when it was a while ago. And you were like, why don't you have one of those? And I drank it, and like an hour later, I noticed that my headache was gone. So maybe I was lacking, one of the potassium or magnesium or sodium or something. So now when I have a headache, I tend to try to drink one at least. I'm really bad about drinking water, so.
And I drink way too much water.
Yeah, I need to be better about that. He is a water machine, and I am I don't ever drink water, so I'm working on it.
These are also they're keto friendly. They don't have any sugar. They do have 2 grams of carbohydrates, but they're 30 stick packs. I think they're kind of pricey. It's like $40 for this, which is a lot. Compared to other electrolyte packs out there, but I decided just because I was doing the 1 month, I wanted to get something that everyone was raving about, and so I'd give it a try. But I fear that now I'm going to like this and buy more of it. So, but yeah, cool drink mix to add.
Well, I know when I'm in ketosis just because I know what I'm eating to stay under 20 net carbs per day. Alex is a little bit different since he was consuming beer and things like that. How did you know that you were in ketosis, and how long did it take you to get into ketosis?
I use the strips to measure my ketosis or ketone level. It probably took me about, I want to say 3 to 4 days to initially get into ketosis. And I could only measure myself in the morning, like after I woke up, because I drink so much water throughout the day. that anytime I measured it after that, it would just show a blank. So the strips, as everyone is aware, are not completely accurate all the time.
But you just wanted to know, he doesn't like needles, so there's no way he was going to test his blood or anything like that. So it was a way to say, hey, I am producing ketones, whether, you're using them or not.
Right. I just wanted to make sure I was sticking to it and I was actually in. And so I just measure myself every day. And, every day I was in it until the fateful
Vietnamese bowl. So what do you think about Keto Twins?
I think the channel's great. I love that you guys are doing this, and it's going really well. And yeah, you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. So what are some of your favorite meals that I make that are keto related?
Some of the meals that I'm really into, like the butter chicken. I'm a big fan of the butter chicken.
He's been using the Instant Pot a lot since we got it last summer for our wedding.
Right. And I've been just obsessed about making Indian food for some reason. So I've been learning about it and trying to make more of it. And the creamy chicken recipe, also an Instant Pot one that we just found randomly. I actually had friends that recommended it too. That's a good one. The just making steak in general.
Oh yeah.
Just grilling during the summertime. That's always fun. It's really easy to do. We have a gas grill, so we just turn it on, throw on the protein, and cedar plank salmon, and so all sorts of good stuff that we do during the summer.
So Charlie decided to join us. So Alex, now that it's February, what's your plan going forward?
Going forward, I am probably going to continue eating keto. I might throw in some weekends where I won't. Or I'm sorry, not when I won't, but I might throw in some weekends that I don't drink beer and maybe try to get some more results, because I do want to lose more weight and lose more fat and, get into better shape, because we're going to be on a beach in a few months. So I want to look good. But I think going forward, doing dry January is something I'm going to continue to do, because I think it's just an overall great idea to just take a break from all the crap. And
what about a dry March? I mean,
a dry March. Yeah. Thing that I'm going to continue to do also is intermittent fast. I did do some 3-day fasts last year, especially before our wedding. And that was an interesting experience as well. Probably a whole nother video to talk about that, but probably continue to do that throughout the year too.
And you do it during the day mostly, right? Intermittent fast during the day?
Yeah, for the most part, my diet, I don't eat anything until afternoon. At least sometimes I get ravenous by noon, so I start eating something, but I definitely don't eat anything in the morning, just black coffee and water. Going forward, I'm also going to continue working out. I'm also trying to stick to the habit that I've developed over the course of the month and continue to keep that going. So I also purchased Beachbody On Demand for 1 year. So I have 1 year to utilize the on-demand programs that I bought. So that's what I'm going to do.
So do you have any tips out there for anyone who might be starting a keto lifestyle?
I would say black coffee helps a lot. It's easy to, if you don't drink coffee, there's other options as well. But for me, coffee definitely fills the void of hunger pains, in times of weak moments, I would say.
It keeps you going.
It keeps you going, yeah. I would say it's sticking to the diet in general is a lot easier if you fill your refrigerator with the foods you really need.
And don't have any crap in the house.
Get rid of the crap, because the crap will be sitting around waiting for you in your weak moments. And when you do have a weak moment, you're looking through all the cabinets trying to look for that tasty snack, then it won't be there waiting for you. You can only have the keto snacks for you. I think that the electrolyte packs are something that's good to have around. I think you agree with that too. Mm-hmm. Maybe add that to the arsenal in the keto lifestyle. And if you do get off the rails and make a mistake, you can just pick it back up next day. I mean, I pick it up every week, I guess, is what I do. But
I would say that you're closer to maintenance mode, though. You're not you don't want to lose like, 30 or 40 pounds. You're like 10 pounds away from your goal weight, 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be on it as much, I guess, as other people might be.
I definitely believe that if I stuck to another month or two just doing what I was doing, I could be there, definitely. It is taxing mentally. Obviously, everyone who sticks to this diet 24/7 like you did, I mean, it's definitely could take its toll in regards to trying to stick to your guns and not cheat, because it is
I think it's easier after you just, like I say, it's like you say no 1,000 times. Like, no, I don't want that. No, I don't need to have that. No, I don't want carbs. You know what I mean? And then eventually it's just like you don't care enough to break your diet. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm tempted by very little now to break my diet. So.
It is a change in thinking about eating and thinking about food in general. It just.
Do you feel better when you're in ketosis?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
That was something that was interesting that Brad said. He said he sleeps better. I don't necessarily sleep better. If I didn't give myself enough nutrients, I could feel it in the workout. Like, I'd feel weak, I'd feel slow, I'd get like hot faster, I'd get tired quicker. So I know that there is a sweet spot that you have to get to if you are exercising on keto, where you do have to listen to your body and think about what it needs as well, and figure that out. So there's a lot of that going on as well.
For me, when I eat like a whole entire pizza or something, I feel like crap the next day. But if I eat like a steak and like all this other fat and I'm in ketosis, I don't feel like crap. You don't feel the same way?
In that regard, yes. So if I do eat a ton of carbs, I mean, I will feel like terrible the next day, and that's definitely a benefit to being on the keto lifestyle. Is you don't feel like crap after you eat a ton of food. Eating a ton of carbs, I mean, sometimes we go out for dinner and I'd have like a burger and a beer and I'd be taking a nap an hour later, because your blood sugar spikes so high and you just crash. And
so that was his 1 month experience on keto. He lost 13 pounds and now he's drinking beer again. And maybe he will make us a keto-friendly beer in the future.
Hard seltzer. We'll start there.
Why not a beer?
Sounds difficult.
It sounds difficult?
Yes,
really?
I think
so. Because you need to get the yeast to eat the sugar?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Never mind. Maybe a hard seltzer then. So anyway, thank you for joining us, Alex. I hope that you will be in future videos.
Thanks for having me.
Maybe you won't be. I don't know. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex.
And we are not the Keto Twins, but Emily will be back soon. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.